Hello, everyone.
Hello.
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 So I'm Melly from HAWO, and I have 5 winners from the Getting Students Moving contest today to talk about how to incorporate movement into the classroom. So hello, everyone. I'm going to just go around the room, the virtual room, and have everyone introduce themselves, where they're from, and how long they've been with the company. So let's start with Michelle.
Hi, I'm Michelle, and I've been with HAWO for 1.5 years, and I'm from Albany, Georgia, USA.
Great. Hey, Lauren?
I've also been for HAWO about a year now. I'm from a town called Joplin, Missouri.
Hello, welcome. I'm Sonya Tunstall, and I currently reside in Dayton, Ohio, USA. And I have been, I saw your bio, and I have been with HAWO for a year in March.
Great. Great. Jennifer?
Hi, I'm Jennifer McCarley. My teacher name is Carly Jean, and I've been with HAWO for a year and a half, and I'm from Russellville, Kentucky. We're here.
Oh,
And Todd.
Hello, I'm Todd, and I currently live in Prague, Czech Republic, but I'm from Canada, so yeah, kind of two places. And as far as living, with HAWO, I've been with HAWO since October 2017, I believe. Yes, a little while.
Great. All right, excellent. So let's get started with our first question. So maybe we'll start with Todd, since you were last to speak. Could
Sure.
you tell us about how you specifically incorporate movement into the classroom?
Okay, so one thing that I like to do is I actually have this fidget spinner. So I like to do this, and then I get it to stop. And they have two different things. It has, they have the actions and then the words. And I like it to fall on the actions first if I can, because this is the way that I review their words from other classes, so that they're still remembering them, but also so that I can get them up and moving around. So anytime I do that, right away, it's like it just changes everything. They go from just kind of being like, they're there, they're engaged, but now all of a sudden they're just right into the game, and they get up. And I usually start the game, it'll just be like, stand up, and right away they're up. And next thing you know, I just will say words, and with the words, then they start doing the actions. So that's one way that I do it.
Very good, very good. How about you, Lauren?
It kind of depends on the level. One thing that I like to do is when we at the game time slide, I kind of use that as an opportunity to just give them a break from. I mean, there are definitely things we can do to reduce the repetitive nature of the lessons, but that's just kind of the nature of it, that it is kind of a little repetitive. And so I get them up and I say, stand up. And so I stand up with them, and that kind of helps them know. In the beginning, they don't know stand up and sit down either. And like, stand up and stretch, and I make a big deal about it and make it fun and silly. And then if there's action words in the lesson, like say it's swim or something, then I'm like, okay, let's swim now. And then I'll sometimes I'll use that little sticker that's kind of like a polar bear in the ocean. Like, duck my head down and I swim with the polar bear. So I kind of like, that's getting them moving and also kind of giving them a break from the monotony of it. And then also like, I'll just pick fun words like jump or swim or dance if there aren't really like action words as keywords. But I try as much as possible to use something that is at least related to the keywords of the lesson.
Right. How about you, Sonya?
Hi, yes. I like to start with the movement from the song. So for example, the 3 little pigeons. So 3 little pigeons sitting on a wall. 1 flew away. Oh, and the rest of the song. Also, like for example, today's lesson was a younger student. And so for example, climb, tree. So for the sentence, I would say the sentence. She likes or loves, likes to climb trees. So just throughout, and as we said, for the younger levels, a lot more action incorporated with the words. And also towards the end, if they need to remember, I try not to say anything. And if they're really stuck, and if no one else in the classroom can help them, just try to use some movement or say, look at teacher. So look at teacher. And then that seems to help them move along.
Right. Very good. Jennifer.
Well, I like to use a lot of props. I am prop crazy. So to get them excited, for example, if we're talking about a birthday, I'm going to dress the part. So I'm going to put, you know, a birthday hat on. I also have a reward where they can make birthday cake, add different toppings, and choose their toppings. I like to give them a choice. So they're talking to me, they're telling me, I want gumdrops, or sorry, jelly beans, or gumdrops, or strawberries. So I give them a lot of choices. I like the acting out the words. I'll try to give some movement with a word, like if it's throw, then they're throwing. I will also take the student from where they are, move them to the screen, and let them do the action. We actually do a lot of games like that where they act it out and the other ones are guessing, and whoever guesses first gets an extra star. I'll act it out first, and then they all know the set actions for the 3 words, and then they all take turns doing that. So that's fun. I also do a lot of choice rewards. Like, for example, the younger ones and even my older ones really like this.
Oh,
I'll
cute.
say, choose an animal. Let's find the star. And so they'll say horse, and I'll say, do you want the horse? I want the horse, and try to get them to really say the sentence. And so I'll say, let's look. Oh, look, a star. And then I'll put a star under their name. Say it was Jessica's turn. Whoops. Won't stick. So stick it up there under Jessica's name. And the first one to get 3 stars is the winner of my reward. So I usually let them choose an animal every 5 stars. And then for my older ones, I like to do this card game where they choose again, and they tell me when to stop. And so they'll say, stop, teacher. And so we'll pick a card. They get this card. So they got 6 points. So I'll write 6. And then the next student, when they get 5 stars, gets to pick a card. That one gets 7. And so all through, they don't know who the winner is going to be. We add up their points the whole time. And even if Jessica only got to pick 4 times and Snowy got to pick 6 times, Jessica's score could still be higher. So they never know who's the winner is going to be. So it keeps them attentive and engaged all throughout instead of feeling defeated. So, and the same with the stars. There may not be a star, like the bunny doesn't have a star. So
Keeping the Vegas factor in learning. All right. Michelle?
Okay, to get my students moving, I also start at the very beginning with songs. We have to act out certain things, but when it comes to the vocabulary, if the word is up, I say, okay, everybody up. And they have to jump, and if they don't move, sometimes I may say, Peter, when you hear the word jump, jump. And most of the time that would get him moving if I call his name and have him to move. And then if I can't get him to move again, I may say, okay, Peter, if you can jump, you can get 2 stars. And I say, Peter, jump, up, up. And then that gets him moving. And I also like to have my students to go and find things. I say, where are your glasses? Do you have glasses? Go get your glasses. So if they don't have glasses, I say, okay, draw glasses. Draw glasses. So either way, whether they're moving, getting things, they can still be moving, drawing things. So either way, I can get them to move for me.
Wonderful. All right. So I think there is definitely an ease of doing incorporating movement with younger learners or earlier learners. How about as the older level 5 learners? Do you have any specific advice about how to get them moving, especially if they don't want to move? Anyone?
Is that
I don't have any that are as high as level 4 or 5, but I have 3 different cohorts of level 3.
Mhm.
And they're definitely at that age where like, nah, I'm too mature. I'm too cool for for getting up and moving around. So I try to, like, particularly during the story time part of it, where we're reading the story, I try to make that more immersive, where I'll make a big deal about the facial expressions of the characters. Like, a lot of times Timmy's surprised, you know, Timmy has giant eyes. And I kind of draw their attention to that. I'm like, oh, look, Timmy's eyes are so big. And then I like draw a circle around it. And I often, particularly if the words have been hard for them to pronunciate, I try to read each of the characters' scripts before I drag a video over. Well, I drag a student video over. So like, okay, student A is Cindy and student A is Anna, or student B is Anna. Before I have them read, I read it myself, and I do it in kind of a funny way. Like, if Timmy's got the big eyes, you know, he's surprised. So,
So trying to get their faces to move also gets them,
yeah. So it's like if the script's something like, oh, one of my recent lessons was helping the cat that's left outside in winter. It was like, what to do to help a cat if you see it outside. And Timmy was very surprised seeing the cat. So I was like, I would read it and be like, oh, the cat, it's shivering. And it's like, and just trying to like, and add hand motions to it. It's like, so cold. And like, kind of just do those kinds of things as I'm reading. Mm-hmm. And sometimes they'll still just read it normal. They know what I'm trying to get them to do. And they're like, no, I'm just gonna read it normal. Yeah. But I mean, sometimes they'll imitate me and make it more expressive. And then I make a big deal about it. If one of them chooses to, you know, be a good actor, then I make a big deal about it and give them kind of some extra praise for participating.
Yeah, I find that for, like you're saying, Lauren, for older kids, I find that if it's in the group lessons, I will have usually the students, but I find like the boys don't really want to act things out. They just want to kind of go through it. So what I'll do is, like you said, drag another student that has been participating, especially if he's a boy that has been participating, to try to encourage him, as well as I will ask that student that isn't participating or acting or doing different things or looking down. I'll say, look at teacher and show me, draw, or I'll even draw, or I'll get the mouse draw. And if he's trying to say something, but I want him to act it out, I'll say, oh, I don't understand, draw. And that seems to get him to, then he'll draw it out for me, or stand up, show me, I don't understand, and I'll stand up or do it, and I'll try to do something completely opposite, like basketball, and then stand up, show me, and then he'll show me basketball. I'll go, oh, okay. Even if I knew really what he was saying, I want him to become more active because maybe he's distracted or doing his homework or doing something else, and I don't want him doing his homework to allow the other students to say, oh, okay, well, I don't have to listen to this. Yeah.
Nice. Good. Anyone else?
Well, for my older students, they like to do the Magic Star Reward game. So I would just show it to them. This is what we're going to play today. And for the older group, I would have 4 words they can choose, and they have to get up. If they say the word correctly, they have to get up and do the action. Oh. They have to get up and dance. So if they get it right, they love doing the different actions. And some of them just get a magic star. They don't necessarily get up and do an action, but if it says 3 stars, they get 3 stars. So that's one of the games that my students like do to get them moving. And I also created a different kind of game like this one. And they have to say the words And sometimes they're different color coded. Could be words that they're having for that particular lesson, and the other color would be words they had in the previous lesson. So if the word is shiver, they would have to say the word shiver, and sometimes they have to demonstrate shiver. And on the back of the card, the name of the game was Make It Rain. That was the name of the game. So if they get a rain cloud, they have to say, make it rain, make it rain. And the others have money on the back of the card. So whoever has the most money would be the winner of that particular game. And I do this for my older groups that can pretty much count some of the money. So that really, my games get my students moving where they have to do the action and also say the words correctly.
That's really good. I love that game.
Thank
Fun.
you.
All right, Jennifer, Todd, do you have any for older students?
One that I recently incorporated was, usually I come to class and I have the TPR for them. Well, with this class, because they're older and they're actually quite advanced as far as like I can talk to them and get them kind of responding with just my English words, right? Rather than the other ones, I'm doing a lot more hand movements and stuff for them. And with these guys, I get them to actually teach me the TPR. So now it's no longer me having the initiative, but they have the initiative. And then they come up with, you know, very different ways than I would think as to why we would do something. But at the same time, I feel like it's still achieving my goal. It gets them moving. It gets them thinking about the words, what the meaning is. I still try to help bring meaning to it, but I try to have them do it for me as well. So.
Yeah, and it helps them build like a different neural connection, right? Because they're doing the movement in their own way. So
yeah.
Jennifer?
I would agree. I think it's mostly with the older students, getting them interested in the lesson is by asking them the questions, having them be in charge of choosing, like I said, making choices in the classroom, choosing the action that we do for the action games, and then just letting them have a little bit more control over teaching. Like I might pull 2 students over for the reading, and they're talking and they're reading the story, and I try to get them to do the voices, you know, different character voices, and just I think mainly like we were saying, the rewards and the choices they have in that get them to stay engaged. But I have a lot of lower level students in mind. So
All right, yeah, so I think these are definite benefits on the learning outcomes, being engaged. Are there any others that you can think of in terms of how it actually helps the students learn, this incorporation of movement?
I think it really helps them retain what they're learning. They're moving, you know, if the action is jump, they're jumping and they're remembering that motion. It's the connections that are made physically, verbally, and then they retain it much better. It's also, it just allows them to have fun, to stay engaged, to be able to participate and and want to come back to class and want to learn more. So all of these things, all the props we use are so beneficial. And I think a big thing is to stay smiling, fake it till you make it almost. And because I know some days we don't feel like teaching, and right now you can hear a big boom going on. My daughter is banging on the door. But I just think that if we are happy, they're going to be happy. If we are being the kind of teacher that engages them and makes them happy, then they're going to be learning all that they can learn because they're excited.
Great. Yeah, I think that's a good summary. Anyone else have any?
And I think keeping them moving will also motivate them and have that desire to want to learn, and they will be stimulated. So keeping them moving, I think, is very important in a lesson.
Actually, yes, I agree. And also sometimes, especially when we get to the showtime portion, sometimes the students know what they want to say, but they've forgotten the word for it. It may not have been one of the vocabulary or target language words, but they know, So I've seen other students in their little boxes assisting their fellow classmate in doing the action. And that will help say, oh yes, climb the tree. So I think that has helped a lot as well. Just like you said, Jennifer and Michelle, connecting the action to the words, whether it's seeing the props or doing the actions themselves or seeing the actions, it helps to continue the scaffolding of learning.
Right, and I love how you're using that peer-to-peer learning. Like they're getting excited to try to help their classmate, and the classmate's getting the clues. I think it's really motivating, exciting for everyone. Any other thoughts on this, Todd? Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So one thing, because I live in Prague and I'm learning another language, and one thing I know for myself is the actions are really big for learning. I was in a coffee shop one time, and I know a little bit of Czech. I'm not very good at it at all, but I had the server, and I was trying to kind of figure out some of the words and learn at the same time. And she was doing actions, and she wasn't telling me this is what this is, like direct translation. She was just doing the actions, and from that I was just picking stuff up. And now that stuff is stuck with me is something that I remember, you know? And so I feel like my personal experience reinforces what basically my TEFL teaching has taught me already, kind of thing. So I'm really motivated to try bring that to my students as well. So.
Great. All right, well, thank you, everyone. This has been really helpful and great participation. And I love seeing everyone's actions and movement. It's I feel motivated now to go teach after this. But so thank you very much, and I will see you soon. Bye-bye.
Bye.
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 Bye.